We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello dear students, today we will going to start a new article, that is metal semiconductor junction. So as we know that as per the electronic properties of metal and semiconductor, we can distinguish these two kind of materials by their energy band gap, their position of valence band as well as conduction bands. So when you bought in contact these two kind of materials, means a conductor and a semiconductor, so what are the possible contacts available? So we will going to study about it. Metal semiconductor junction, or you can say the contacts. When metal and semiconductor are brought into contact, there are two types of junctions formed depending on the work function of the semiconductor and its relation with the metal. So as I discussed earlier, the conductor materials, maybe it is a copper, aluminum. Copper have their own electronic properties, it has its own energy band gap, and aluminum on the other hand, it has also its own electric properties and the differ value of energy band gap. So when you are considering the use of silicon or germanium semiconductors, when they brought into contact with the conductors or metals like copper and aluminum, the two possible metal semiconductor junction which are available, that is the Schottky junction and number 2 is the ohmic junction. Consider a junction formed between a metal and n-type semiconductor. So as we all know that the two types of semiconductors are available, that is n-type and p-type semiconductor. So first of all we will consider the contact between the conductor and the semiconductor with electrons as a majority charge carrier, that is the n-type. The Fermi level of the semiconductor is higher since its work function is lower than the metal. So here we will see the bending of n-type semiconductor conduction band. So when the metal semiconductor junction is formed, the Fermi levels must line up at equilibrium. Here we can see from the figure the difference in the Fermi level of the metal and n-type semiconductor. The Fermi level of metal is lower. However, the work function of the metal is higher. But here, as you can see from the figure, the Fermi level is lower compared to the n-type semiconductor because it has the higher charge carrier concentration of electrons in its conduction band. So this is the before contact situation. When we will bring this metal and n-type semiconductor into contact, see what happens. There are electrons in the conduction level of semiconductor which can move to the empty energy states above the Fermi level of the metal. So here as you can see, the black points which are marked as electrons can easily travel to the conduction band of the metal above the Fermi energy. This is one of the possibility. So when electron will leave the conduction band of the semiconductor, there will be a positive charge as mentioned over here on the semiconductor side, and due to the excess electrons, a negative charge on the metal side. So this is the metal n-type semiconductor phenomenon where positive charges are traveling through the n-type semiconductor and negative charges of electrons are traveling or approaching through the metal type. When a contact is formed between a metal and semiconductor, due to the low charge density on the semiconductor side, typically the value is 10 to the power 17 per centimeter cube, the electrons are removed not only from the surface but also from a certain depth within the semiconductor. So now in the next figure you will see that the conduction band of the semiconductor is slightly bent and now it is in the contact with the Fermi level of the metal, and hence now it is in the equilibrium. So this leads to the formation of a depletion region in the semiconductor, not in the metal. Remember, the depletion region is now arised into the semiconductor. Thus, when a Schottky junction is formed, this particular contact of metal and n-type semiconductor is known as Schottky junction or Schottky contact is formed between the metal and n-type semiconductor. The Fermi level lines up and also a positive potential is formed on the semiconductor side. This WD is representing the depletion width over which the transfer of holes and electrons have been carried out. Because the depletion region extends within a certain depth in the semiconductor only, there is bending of energy bands on the semiconductor side, not on the metal side. Here, the bending of valence band as well as conduction band can be seen from this figure. So, the bending of bands in the direction of electric field, where the fields goes from the positive charge to negative charge, which is totally opposite to the potential direction. This means that the energy bands bend up going from n-type semiconductor to the metal. Moreover, the Fermi levels line up and there is a certain region in the semiconductor which is denoted by capital W where the bands are bending. This is called the depletion region. Initially, when the junction is formed, electrons move to the metal to create the depletion region. The contact potential thus formed prevents further motion of electrons to the metal. This is very much important. When the Schottky junction is formed, the electrons of the semiconductor are gently traveled towards the metal to create the depletion region and the contact potential has been formed, and after the limited transformation or when the depletion width is already generated inside the semiconductor, after that there is no probability for an electron of semiconductor to travel towards the metal. So this is also helpful to maintain the performance of the n-type semiconductor. There is also a barrier for electrons to move from metal to semiconductor, and this is called the Schottky barrier, which was denoted by phi b. Here you can see it has been denoted as phi b, which is a Schottky barrier. The electrons once came inside the metal, now it has no probability to return back into the semiconductor's conduction band. So these are some important parameters of Schottky junction. The Schottky junction can be biased by application of external potential. Again, two types of biasing as we have studied earlier, that is forward bias and reverse bias. In the forward bias, metal is connected to the positive terminal and n-type semiconductor is connected to negative terminal. Corollary to that, reverse bias, in which metal is connected to negative terminal and n-type semiconductor is connected to the positive terminal. So with these two types of biasing, forward bias and reverse bias, we can apply the external potential. A Schottky junction is formed when the semiconductor has lower work function than the metal. But what about the reverse phenomenon? That means when the semiconductor has higher work function, the junction formed is called the ohmic junction. Here you will see the bending of metals, when the electrons move from the metal to the empty state in the conduction band of the semiconductor. So earlier in the Schottky junction we have the depletion region. Here in the ohmic junction we have the accumulation region, as can be seen from the energy band diagram of the junction in the equilibrium. This is the before contact situation, and this is the after contact situation. So again, the metal bends are as it is, conduction band is bending towards the metal side on the semiconductor side. The accumulation region has a higher conductivity than the bulk of the semiconductor due to this higher concentration of electrons. Thus, ohmic junction behaves as a resistor, conducting in both forward and reverse bias, similar to the Schottky junction. The resistivity is determined by the bulk resistivity of the semiconductor. One of the interesting applications of ohmic junction is in thermoelectric devices, which means the electric heater or the induction cooktop. These devices are known as thermoelectric devices, where a small volume can be cooled or heated by means of direct currents. So these are the applications of the combination of metal and semiconductor. For ohmic junction, depending on the direction of the current flow, that is forward or reverse bias, heat can be generated or absorbed. This is the well-known Peltier effect and is applicable to junctions between any two dissimilar materials. So, number 1 and number 2 are the different phenomenon where, as you can see, the direction of current, this is the forward bias, this is the reverse bias. In the forward bias condition, the heat is absorbed inside the material, and in the another case heat is generated. So the first figure, that is figure A construction, can be used to absorption of heat, that means for cooling down, and figure number B can be utilized to generate the heat, means to improve the temperature. There are different metals that form ohmic contacts with semiconductor. If you are considering the N-type material or P-type material, we have, so here between N-type and P-type semiconductor, what are the different contacts, that means particularly ohmic contacts are available. The chart is given. This is just for your information, but the two different contacts, that are Schottky contacts and ohmic contacts. Remember, these two types of junction, Schottky and ohmic junction, can be separately asked in your GTU examination in 4 marks each, or the combined question can be asked in full 7 marks question. So be prepared, and thanks for visiting this lecture.